It is Wednesday the 26th of February. My voice is getting a little bit better. Hope everyone's doing okay. Tonight we have Nvidia earnings after the close, which really, for the last year, everybody's talked about. Nvidia really has been the market, one of the biggest drivers of the market. But there's some stuff that's been really oversold, and one of them is Tesla, that I think is at a really interesting level to maybe trade a counter trend bounce. And so I'm going to talk about why. So far this month, I think monthly February high to low, Nvidia is down 25%, and from the inauguration day, Tesla is down 30%, which is bizarre, really. When you know Elon is the first buddy, he is he's the richest man in the world with everything going on for him. So I'm not going to analyze why Tesla is not doing so well. This is really just about technicals and why I think we're at a really good level for a bounce. Now, this is a monthly chart of Tesla. Clearly, this has been in a really strong uptrend. And when I take a look at where we are, this was a lovely 5-wave rally here and a 3-wave retrace, really deep 3-wave retrace. This is a very volatile stock. When I look at where we are, around this 300 level, Tesla really kind of does react to these big round numbers. This big swing that we had that topped out in November 2021, topped out around $400 and pulled back to basically $100. Missed it by a dollar. This swing higher that we have seen, we didn't quite tag 500, and I'm not sure it's done. I would expect this 5-wave move to finish with a 5th wave, and so far I see this as kind of a 1, 2, 3 and a wave 4. The problem is, if we go all the way back, if I put this into log scale and fit it on, if we say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're in our 5th wave, in a trending market like we saw between 2019 and 2021, let's get out of log scale. In a trending market, the swings don't bleed into each other, right? So it'll look like this, and there's no way these two swings interact. But in a 5th wave, it can get choppy and overlapping. And the most common retrace of the swings is a 786 fib retrace. So if I look at what we've done here from this low, if that's what's happening, this swing low to high, so from the low in 2023 to the high that we made in July 2023, this, let's mark it in, was exactly a 786 fib retrace, and there we carried on higher. When I talk about volatile, like this was, gosh, 50-60% retrace, pretty nasty, and this was just a wave 2. So potentially from this low, if this was wave 1, 2, and we've just done a wave 3, we could come all the way back in a big choppy overlapping move all the way down to this 786, maybe down here somewhere, before we carry on in our final wave. The thing is, though, that we're not going to do it in a straight line. This was a big 3-wave move with big swings in the middle, and I think that we're kind of at one of those inflection points potentially. We could just keep going into these moving averages, but because of these swing highs, because this 300 price level previously was such an important support and resistance level, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a bit of a bounce here. You can see what I mean about this being a bit of a level with these swing highs and lows. So pretty interesting level. If I go and look at the fib retrace levels, remember I always look at the fib retrace levels, and I always, like in a big stock like this, look from all-time highs to low. And if I do that here, let's find my fib retrace and put it on. So if I go all the way back to the 2010 to this high, did we validate this 236 fib when we back tested it? I think we did pretty exactly. If we take a look, we bounced from this level very nicely, had a big decent 50% retrace of the entire drop, and so we validated these big fib levels. Clearly on the weekly, the 50% retrace down at 244 is where our 200 moving average is. On the weekly, and so we could very easily fall further, but because of these previous highs and lows in Tesla at 300 And because this is a big 38.2 fib, we could very easily find a pretty decent bounce from here. The problem is, you know, you're catching a knife in a downtrend, and sometimes that's a little bit, you kind of need to be a bit careful with your leverage in trading that. You can do it with options. Maybe if you get a decent bounce, take out your initial investment and see if you can ride the rest higher. But this definitely is one of those levels that I'm watching for a bounce. And if we take a look here, so far, you know, we've really seen no bullish reversal price action at this level. And the problem with these levels is quite often there's a retest test. So if you buy early, it'll do that one of those nasty, on a 38.2 fib, nasty kind of spike retest before it bottoms. But this is one of those levels where I wouldn't be surprised if we get a bounce. And that's what I'm looking for in Tesla. And these are the reasons. Big round number level that Tesla tends to bounce at. And just one of those kind of big deal levels where we saw a really decent move before, and potentially we are a little bit oversold. Now, it may happen that we don't get it into month end. We don't see any recovery bounce. We may have to wait until next month. So if you are trading this as options, I would think maybe look for a bit wider out strike prices. But if you are looking at this on the short term for trading levels, this is a really interesting level to watch. What would make me, if I go down to a lower time frame here, what would make me less confident? You can see how sharp these fib levels have been respected. If we were to get underneath and it became resistance and we couldn't get back above it, I would say we're going to keep going. But just because we've become so oversold in this, I would expect at a minimum a little bit of an attempt of a bounce at this big level here in Tesla. And we see where we go from here. And this, again, it doesn't matter, you know, this is just one of those levels. Whatever you think of Elon Musk or what is going on, a big support and resistance level like this, I would expect the market to have a go. Good luck.